I said I would do a quick little video on how to depot MAC single eyeshadows. And you can use this with pretty much any eyeshadow, but I figured I would do a twofer because this one broke, so I'll show you guys how to fix a broken palette too, which you can use for any pressed shadow. It's just alcohol and you mix it together. But since it's already broken, I figured I'd just go ahead and show you. What you're going to need is your eyeshadow, and to depot it you're going to need, I use a candle. I've seen people do it with flat irons, but a candle, tweezers to hold it so you don't burn your fingers, either a tool like this, which is just a cuticle pushing tool, or if you get a Z palette, and this one I got from Sephora, it comes with the magnetic plates to put on the bottom of the pan if the pan doesn't stick to the magnet on the bottom of the palette, and it comes with this nifty little tool as well, which I actually find works a little bit better than the cuticle pusher because it's a little bit thinner. So what you're going to do, and I'm just going to go ahead, it's broken, so I'm just going to go ahead and get out what's broken. And then if you look right here, you can see that there's a little bit of a ridge, and you can kind of stick your tool in there to pop it right out. And usually it pops out pretty easily. Sometimes it doesn't, and you just have to work it a little bit more, but this whole thing pops right out. Then you're going to take your tweezers and you're going to put it over a flame, usually about 15-20 seconds. Kind of move it around so it doesn't burn too much. If you're going to do a bunch of these, try to do it in a ventilated area because it does start to smell like burning plastic and give you a little bit of a headache. If you're just going to do a couple, then where you are, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to start seeing soot appear on it. And what you want to look for is the plastic to get shiny, and then you know it's soft enough. So there we go. And now what I'm going to do is take this part, I'm going to poke it into the bottom, and you can see the pan is coming out. And it's really hot, so you don't want to touch it with your fingers, and that melts the glue that's on the bottom of the pan that's keeping it in the plastic. And you can usually just scrape that off, or you can use like a cotton swab and alcohol to do it. And that's all there is to that. Once you've depotted your pan, just give it a couple of seconds to cool. It's still pretty hot. And then if you want to get the sticker off so you can put it on the bottom of it so you'll know what your eyeshadow was so you can repurchase it, you just want to stick it in here and heat it up a little bit, and that loosens the glue. And then what I do is, if the pan doesn't stick to the magnet, sorry, that's my daughter, if it doesn't stick to the magnet that's in the Z palette or whatever palette you use, I put the magnet on first, and then I put this over the magnet. So be careful, it gets hot, but it lifts right off just like that. And it usually stays pretty sticky, so then what you want to do is get out your magnet. And it's nice, the Z palettes come with round ones and square ones, or rectangular ones, depending on the shape of your pan. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what shape you use. It's all going to stick. And you just peel off the backing, stick it on your pan, and then stick this onto that. And there you go. And so it just sticks right in there. It's nice and magnetized, so you don't have to worry about it falling out. And in the long run, it's cheaper to buy the pans from MAC. I think they're $6 now than to actually get like the whole eyeshadow. I think these are around 15. It's been a while since I bought an eyeshadow. And you can just pop this back in there, and then you can bring it to a MAC store. It has to be a MAC store. It can't be a counter. And you do what they call back to MAC, and they take it and they recycle these, and you can get like a free lipstick, lip gloss, something like that when you turn in 6. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over there. So now to fix a broken one, so you see I got a little bit in there, I'm going to take a scraping tool like this, and this gets messy, so you're going to want to have something on your counter to cover it up, and you just scrape it out. And you can do this with any powder. You can even do it with pigments. With MAC pigments, you don't need a binder. You can do it just with alcohol. But with other pigments, you do need some type of binder to press them. But you just mix it in there. And then you get some alcohol. The higher the alcohol content, the quicker it dries. So this isn't going to dry as quickly as, like, you know, a 90% alcohol. And you're going to pour a little bit in there. You don't want to have too much in there because you want it to be a paste, and I think I just put a little too much in there. It's okay. I mean, it's still going to dry down. It's just, you know, going to take a little bit longer. So you just mix it all up. And this little container I got from Sally's Beauty. There's like a 6-pack of them for a couple of dollars. And then you're going to clean out your pan real quick. That's just to keep everything sanitized. I already cleaned this out with just a little bit of alcohol and a Q-tip. It was a clean Q-tip, that's why I just dipped it right in there. And then you're going to pour this right back into your pan. And I put a little bit too much alcohol in there, so it's kind of overflowing. So what you'll do is take a quarter. A quarter is like the perfect size for these pans. And you can wrap it in paper towel, but I was too lazy to run downstairs and get a paper towel, and I just happen to have a washcloth. And stick it in there and stamp it down. And it's going to overflow, which is another reason why you want something to protect whatever surface you're working on. See? Mm-hmm. And then just kind of push back whatever overflowed. And you're going to do this a couple of times until you get everything in there. And then what you're going to want to do once you have everything in here is just let it dry, usually overnight. And it doesn't take a whole lot of time to dry. I just like to do it overnight so that way I can make sure like everything is set. And you can actually get stamping tools to help do this. It makes it a little bit easier if it's something that you do a lot of, or if you press your own pigments. And they're pretty inexpensive. You get them from TKB Trading Company. But if it's not something you do often, then you don't really need to go that route. For a bigger palette, like if it were a face powder or something like that, you might have to go over it several times with a quarter. Or if you happen to have like an empty, like you hit pan on a powder, or if you use something completely up, you could take that pan and use that to stamp down the powder and stuff. So, oh, you see I just dropped it and nothing came out, so that's all there is to it. And when it's dry, you just clean up the sides with a swab or Q-tip and some alcohol, and that's that. And it goes right back into your Z-Pak.